It's these two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.
Hey, George Henry here.
And Larry Richardson.
And we are
These Two Guys.
And we're back for another episode. And we had to start off with this first because Larry's getting a new car. Well,
Yeah,
new to you.
New to me.
you.
Yeah.
But he's got this 5.0, what is it, construction orange?
Cyber metallic orange.
Construction orange?
You can call it that. Yeah, it's definitely a safety vehicle for sure.
Although the orange you have in your shirt right there is probably bright, the T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, no, this is more like a pink, but it looks orange on here.
Yeah.
It does look
Looks
orange.
orange on there. But anyway, so he's got this beautiful Mustang, and he decided he didn't want it anymore.
You can see the pictures of it here.
Here's some
We'll post
pictures
it.
there.
So some videos of me saying goodbye to
Yeah.
it.
So you've had this for what, a couple of years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, bought it new.
Bought it new.
Mhm.
And we won't say why you're getting rid of it in
No.
case.
Yeah, we don't want to say why.
No, we don't want to say why. But anyway, you've kind of had your eye on a Bronco.
Actually, I had my eye on a Bronco first.
Really?
So when we moved to Florence, we have a dealership here, Johnston Motors. So I'm going to give you guys a plug. Johnston Motors here in Florence, and on their lot, it was the only Bronco they had. It was a beautiful two-door cyber metallic orange with the cyber metallic orange beadlock wheels on it. It was a stick. It's a 7-speed because it's got 6 regular speeds and it's got a crawl speed.
Okay.
I think it was a fully decked out one, and they just wanted way too much for it.
Ah.
I mean, they had the sticker with MSRP, and then they had their price, and it was a huge difference between the two. I won't say how much, but so at that point, I didn't want it. Went online, spec'd one out, and I was told this, like, the waiting list was almost like 2 years to get a Bronco because at that time they didn't have it. They had chip shortages and all this other crap. And so we go back down to California because we were on our way to go to we were on our way to Puerto Rico. And we go to the dealership down there, Roseville Auto Mall. Susie buys a car. She buys a Kia Sportage, right? She bought a 2023 Kia Sportage. This wasn't 2022. She bought a 2023 Kia Sportage, and while she was taking a test drive, we drive by Ford, and I see my Mustang sitting out there. Cyber metallic orange. They had just washed it off. They were wiping it off. It was beautiful. Came back. I walked around the dealership while she was, and if anybody's been to Roseville Auto Mall, it's literally a circle of just car dealerships. Every manufacturer car dealership is in there. So I go over and I see the guy, and he tosses me the keys immediately. I didn't even say anything to him. So we took it for a spin. Got a pretty good deal on it. It was a rollback because somebody had purchased it, but they couldn't get finance for it. And it was cyber metallic orange. It was the same color as a Bronco that I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I like this thing. So in the last 4 years, you'll see from the pictures, there's a lot of things I've done to it. I put wheels on it, lowered it, spoiler, hood, side scoops. Didn't do really any performance things on it. It's 6-speed manual. Everybody in town knows this car. Everybody loves this car here.
Now on the cowl under the hood, is the air filter section matching paint too? Because I know some vehicles have it where, like the Beetle, not Beetle. Hang on a second. I'm working through here. The Bumblebee Camaro.
When you pop the hood,
pop it up,
the engine cover and everything?
Cover's yellow. No, it doesn't have that.
No,
Okay,
but
good.
I did a little painting there. I brought a torsion bar, I guess they call it. It's like a support strut that goes across the front of the car to help for stabilization. I brought that and I painted that. I put cold air intake and I did some little custom painting on that. Aside from that, that was pretty much all that was done with it. It was, you've seen it. It's a very, very nice car.
Yeah, very sweet. It's a sweet ride.
It is. It is very fast.
So they took it away today.
So
tell us the story about you now not having a vehicle.
Yeah. So I'm gonna not plug the place that I'm actually getting my Bronco from. It's Marin Imports there in San Rafael. And so we have.
Should we even mention their name?
I am now.
Oh, it's too late now.
Marin Imports. You're out there. I mean, it's going to reflect on my review. But I looked at the car. Not physically, I looked at the car, but we have friends that work at dealerships. Again, small town, a lot of small friends. I had them run the VIN. It's got very low miles on it. They pulled the history and everything on it, so I know what was done. Talking to the owners of the Marin Imports. Now it's a corner lot, but it's not really a corner lot. They have multiple dealerships. They have one that just deals with high-end cars like Bugattis and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. They have a really high-end one, and then they have a lower-end one, which they deal with, regular consumer cars. So I called the guy, spoke to him, got a little history on the car and everything, and then we kind of worked out a deal because anybody knows if you buy a car, even if you buy a brand new car, the resale value sometimes just right. So Kelly Blue Book on my car was like almost near half of what I paid for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only 4 years earlier.
Yeah, only 4 years after I bought it. And this car was originally pretty much close to MSRP, original MSRP. So I talked to the guy and we negotiated a deal, and he gave me way more than I would have probably gotten for my car even if I sold it on the street.
And which is for people that know, or in case you've ever been wondering about this, your cash price that you get by selling it to an individual is usually greater than the trade-in value that a company will give you.
A great amount, yeah. I mean, we're talking about $8,000 difference.
And what sometimes they'll do is, depending on the car that they're trading you for, if they have, say their price is $10,000 on their vehicle they've got for you, but they only have like $4,000 in it, they've got a little leeway to bounce, and then it makes it look like they're giving you more money on your car. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, looking at the vehicle, it's a Wild Track. It's the Advance, so it's all the bells and whistles in it. It's power seat, soft top.
Except for the crabbing.
Except for the what?
The crabbing.
The crabbing?
It doesn't have the unlock suspension
yes.
working.
The only thing that's different from the next one up, and the Raptor, obviously, which is wider and all that type, like 4 inches wider, and I think it's got like about 85 more horsepower and things like that. Is it's got like this rock climbing thing where you push a button and it'll release the sway bar in the front, and then you get more positioning with the front wheels. I said
crabbing, but that's what I meant with the rock climbing ability.
So aside from that, and it's cyber metallic orange, which is the color that I wanted. So it's got everything that I wanted originally. The miles was actually less than what I have on my Mustang. And so we made the deal. Now, the deal was I was going to finance it, even though they were paying me for my Mustang. I was going to finance it. I was going to make one payment because a lot of these smaller dealerships, they have deals with their finance companies where, if you finance it, we'll give you some kickback. So they get kickback. So I said, that's fine. You get the kickback. I'll finance it. And I get the money from the Mustang. I'll pay the loan off because my Mustang was completely paid off. So then I'll pay the Bronco off. And because I got the kickback, because they get the kickback, they were going to pay for transportation for both vehicles to get the Mustang down there and to get the Bronco up. Now, granted, I don't drive my Mustang very often. I did tell them that. But going from one salesperson to the other, because I went from a salesperson to end up having to go to a sales manager who had to work with the owners in order to get me the deal that I got, the personality changes greatly. You got the guys that are salespeople that want to be your friends. They want to make the deal no matter what. They want to make the deal no matter what. Yeah. The managers have to work a little bit harder because now they're not making a profit they want off of one vehicle, but they have to split that profit now for two vehicles they're going to sell. And so the attitude seems to change. I get a text message yesterday in broken English because I think the guys are Zakistan or something like that. I don't know where these guys are from, but I get a text message just says like, "We're coming to get your car." like the text message had an accent in itself. I was gonna say, right? So I get this text message, and I don't know who these guys are. Nobody tells me somebody's coming to get the car, and so I call the dealership and I explained to the guys like, "Okay, well, you guys are coming to get this. When you guys are dropping off the Bronco?" He's like, "Oh, well, we had a transportation set up, but the guy canceled, and we don't know exactly. It could be a week. It could be." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "You didn't even communicate with me about this." Yeah, well, I heard you didn't drive that car much anyway. This is the attitude the guy is giving me. Right. So then he calls the guy that I did the deal with. And he wasn't trying
to be funny, right?
I think the guy just had a really dry personality, and I think he really, really lacked just really good communication.
Social ability.
Social skills. Didn't pick up on cues. So he calls the guy that I made the original guy I made the deal with, which was I guess he was in an airport or whatever, and he was trying to explain to him that it was hard for them to get the Bronco up here, and they already have somebody coming to take the Mustang down, but it was really hard to get somebody to even come to a rural area to pick up the Mustang, let alone drop off the Bronco. So he did not want to lose this deal with them. It wasn't that we don't care that you don't have a vehicle. We just need to get these guys because if we don't, we're going to miss their schedule. Then it's going to be hard for us to find somebody to come back through Florence again to pick it up.
And once they take your Mustang, you're locked in.
You're locked in, yeah.
See, if they hadn't come got the Mustang, you could have said, well, I changed my mind.
Well, actually, I did. I did. I got on the phone because this is what the guy says to me. I am not kidding you. Well, you don't drive that car anyway. That from what I heard that much. So hey, he says it's imperative if you, did you get the Mustang on that transport truck? And if you don't really like that, then the deal, you can just cancel the deal if you want. And I got off the phone with them, and I stew for a good 4 or 5 minutes. People know me, knows it just. I have a slow boil. I get back on the phone, and I'm like, "F you, dude! I don't want to buy a car from you guys." I said, "But you guys have ran my credit. You did all this other stuff. I did all this stuff with the car and everything." And so I go off on them, and then I hang up the phone on them, and then one of the owners calls, and he's like, "No." He says that what you heard was not correct, and that's when he explained to me about the transportation. Mm-hmm. And I said, "So
he was nicer."
He was much nicer.
Okay.
Yeah, he was not, because the closers, they don't care. When you get the deal's done, it's like tough if you don't have
I'm
transportation.
gonna get my commission.
Right. That's what it sounded like when it came over to me. But the owners goes, no. He says, no. We're trying to get people to come up there and drop it off. You said, we've already paid. They have, like, I guess they call it like a stock exchange. They post the driveaways, online, and then any trucking company that does vehicle transport can pick up that job. But they're not going to, if they're going to Utah, they're not going to go to Utah by way of Florence, Oregon. So it may not be worth it for them to come here.
Yeah.
And so you have to find somebody that may be going to Washington that may be okay making a 2-hour detour to, come and pick up a car or drop off a car.
So taking an offshoot on that, I don't know if you saw, I think it was a 60 Minutes program the other day where this one family whose, I think, daughter and mother were killed in a car wreck by a tractor trailer driver.
Yes.
And the tractor trailer driver had several other instances, but it was all erased because he was a transport driver transporting stuff. Mm-hmm. And they kept changing the name of the company.
Oh my God.
So they had these transport drivers that had horrible records, had even had serious accidents before, and then killed this person, and he shouldn't even have been on the road.
Well, they had a lot of it in California, those CA licenses they were handing out to just about anybody.
Well, not only that, but it was one certain company. I think it was out of Vegas. Mm-hmm. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But where they had changed the name of their company to avoid being on the radar. And so these things, I'm thinking about, you got some guy picking up your truck. You don't know who's picking up your truck.
No.
It could go right from here to the Mexican border.
To a chop shop. Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll be on them. They're the ones that contract it.
Yeah, but they'll find a way.
Oh, well.
But anyway,
thank God we have documented communications on everything. Yeah. Well, at least on, who's coming and whatnot via text message, no doubt.
So I'm excited because I've always liked the Bronco, the new Bronco. I was curious. Can't wait to go for a ride.
Oh yeah. No, this is going to be really.
But in the meantime, you're driving Susie's.
I'm driving Susie's car, and I couldn't even drive my motorcycle today. I tried to get my motorcycle started, and anybody know these Suzuki Boulevards? They have a situation where the clutch doesn't engage properly. You go to put the bike in gear, and it just lunges forward and shuts down. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, but see, if you took it down to the street, mm-hmm. and then you let it launch forward, you just keep the gas on and keep going.
Yeah, well, that's true. If I'm in motion, it'll probably just take off.
Probably just keep on going.
But then I couldn't change gears. No.
Okay. So that's the update. We'll let you know how Larry's thing is going here.
Yeah.
To switch gears a little bit, this past week they were supposed to have a court date for Reckless Ben and the Bricks and Minifigs folks
Bricks
there.
And Minifigs.
They did have a meeting with the judge, and they did some changes. But yet my understanding is the judge has still not signed a full release for Ben to move on to what he calls part 3.
Right.
I've been watching his website. I've been watching his YouTube, and nothing new out of Reckless Ben at all this week.
No, well, he's got a gag order, right?
Well, the thing was, they were supposed to have dropped that and removed all the free speech issues that were in that gag order,
right,
which would have allowed him to move forward on that. But so far they haven't officially done that yet, so we haven't heard from him. But a couple things. The store in Salem's officially closed for good.
Right.
Won't be reopening again. The allegations-related claims, both sides have now agreed to mediation. That's where we are now on that. But the case is still unresolved. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, mediation is a good thing. I mean, that's some type of progress at least. Yeah. But
because they want to keep it out of the courts,
right? Well, it's already got public opinion.
I think Bricks and Minifigs wants to keep it out of court,
right?
More than Reckless Ben does, because I think Reckless Ben has so much documentation.
Yeah.
and so much police camera footage. I was watching one of the civil rights lawyers the other day. I was watching his take on all the new stuff, and he went over all the video on that. And they have a lot, not just for reckless Ben, but the guy who was driving the car that he was in, holding him, claiming he was using drugs, using what they call the tail wag, which was a cue for the one police officer to bring a sniffing dog in. Didn't say it out loud. Didn't say, well, if we can't get him on, drunk driving, we'll get him on, we'll wag the tail of the dog or something like that. So then they brought the dog in.
That's so bad.
And it was specifically manipulation to try to get these guys to admit to something that they weren't doing.
Yeah, when you look at law enforcement, you want to have respect for them.
You do. I have total respect for ours here.
I do. Our local law enforcement, these guys are great. I mean, I've talked to a few here and there, and they've all been great. But
and similar to the American Fork, right? They're all. It's a small local community.
Yeah.
The difference is the church connection in American Fork.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. If you are not part of their church, you're part of the problem.
I'm going to say this. This is not going to be popular, especially when you say with church, but it's cult-like.
It is.
It's very cult. Because if you're not one of them, then you're not.
I went to Bob Jones. It was very cult-like, and that wasn't the Latter-day Saints church. That was an independent, fundamental, Bible-believing college. But they were cult-like.
But yeah, if you weren't part of that church,
if you didn't do what they said, you were not welcome.
Excommunicado. Yeah. See, that's cult-like to me.
It is.
It's But yeah, I mean, it's just so bad that the police ran on it, and they're just trying to,
Yeah. So let me share. Now, I don't know if this is me or not. I don't know if this is my fault or not, but I'm hoping it is. And if you're out there watching this, Josh Johnson, you can back this up. So the comedian Josh Johnson, right?
Black comedian. Sounds familiar.
Young black comedian. He's also on The Daily Show.
Still sounds familiar.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then there's a football player, Josh Johnson. Well, about 6-8 months ago, Josh Johnson was doing this comedy routine, and he was talking about how someone recognized him on the street and thought it was Josh Johnson, the football player. He's like, no, I'm not that Josh Johnson. So when I saw this, I went on Josh Johnson, the comedian's page, and said, I know you haven't said anything about this yet, but I know that you like making the connection between Josh Johnsons. So I said, here's a Josh Johnson you ought to be on the lookout for. And I made him aware of that. So just yesterday, I was watching his latest YouTube, and he's sitting there talking about the bricks and minifigs, and he goes into the whole Josh Johnson thing. And I was like, did I spur that on? Did I clue him into that? And that's where he got it from. And I'd like to think that maybe some part of that was, true.
True, yeah.
But anyway, so he comments on that, and he talks about there's more white guys named Josh Johnson than there are black
people. That sounds about right.
But anyway, so that was funny. That was an interesting little thing there. But only to say that this is now the Wall Street Journal is doing editorials on this.
Wow.
I mean, this is huge. Little Salem, bricks and minifigs store that was in some trouble. Now it's a national headline.
It's national headlines. Yeah. I mean, it's got 300. We found 300 franchise locations.
Yeah, over 300 franchise locations. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not a good look for them.
So anyway, we are keeping an eye on this. We are watching it, and I know you guys have 1,000 different places you can go and get information on this, but we'll just give our take. If you don't like it, just fast forward. That's fine with us.
No. Listen to us talk. We have great voices.
Listen to us talk. And we're going to go into something later on in the podcast on that. But now I want to talk about something. Larry and I are big movie fans, right?
Yes.
Don't read that yet.
Okay.
What's your favorite Western?
My favorite Western
of all time.
Now,
or name your top 5.
Like
Westerns.
it's my top 5. Appaloosa. Both 310s of Yuma, so I'll give that 1. Tombstone, Desperado, and can I just say the whole Clint Eastwood trilogy?
You
the
could.
No Name trilogy.
Yeah. Okay, so those were filmed in Italy.
Right.
All right. But you mentioned Tombstone.
Right.
Now, one thing Tombstone has in common is what we're going to talk about now is a place called Old Tucson. you've seen the movie Three Amigos?
Yes.
Okay, Three Amigos was filmed in Tucson and at Old Tucson. In fact, they built a separate set on the end of the 300 acres. They eventually tore down, but it was filmed at Old Tucson. Now, Old Tucson back in the 50s and 40s had John Wayne, Rio Bravo, Rio Lobo. Movies like that were filmed there. High Chaparral, the TV series, was filmed there.
Oh, I still love that show.
Then back in the 60s, they turned it into a movie studio and theme park. And they had the Lost Dutchman's Mine was it was like a cave. You got to get in a thing and you went through there. And that was pretty cool. And then they have stagecoach rides. They had a train that goes all the way around the property. And while you're on the train, guys on horseback will ride up and they'll rob the train.
Wait, when was it? How long ago was this?
In the 60s.
Oh, okay.
But it's been through till the last few years. In the 70s, I think, or early 80s, huge fire burnt half of the theme park portion of it. And I think got one of the sound stages on there. So, and then Tucson quit supplementing filmmaking. So, a lot of places like Georgia, North Carolina, now New Mexico, they will give production companies big tax benefits for producing movies in the town. Tucson did away with that. Next thing you know, boom, no more movies are being made in Tucson. So now what we found out this last week is the movie studio and theme park is up for sale. $1.5 million is what they're asking for this. Now, doesn't seem like a lot, but there's a reason. You're not getting a lot, right? You're not getting the lot. You're not getting the property, the 300 acres that it sits on.
You're getting all the kindling.
You're getting the kindling.
Left.
You're getting the studio. No, there's a lot left. There's a beautiful old carousel. There's antique car rides. There's still all the stagecoaches. They were still at least up until this last summer. They were still doing gunfights. They do gunfights every day. 3 or 4 shows a day. Fabulous. They're just great. Stuntmen that work on the movies.
I never even heard of this.
Yeah, it's really great. So now what they're doing is they're looking for someone to take over the theme park and the daily operations of this, and it's $1.5 million. Now I'm thinking that's not a whole lot of money for everything you're getting there.
No.
And I think you can work a lease with the county for a couple bucks a year,
right?
On a long-term lease on that. But because being fans of movies, it's like this was a place where I went as a kid through my teenage years. I mean, we went every chance we could get to go. I mean, it's not Disney World by any means,
right?
Or Disneyland.
It's kind of a Western Universal Studios, lower grade type. But that sounds pretty.
But
cool.
it is. I mean, it's anywhere you go in there, it is
Western theme.
Yeah, I mean, and it's full theme too. You walk in the jail, it's not just how sometimes you just have a storefront, the rest is fake.
Right.
No, you walk in a full jail. You walk in the saloon, you go through
Creaky
the saloon
floors
doors,
and the
you
worn
got the
out
saloon in there,
wood.
right.
Oh wow.
Now they'll do interior shots in the sound studio. So you go in the saloon, they have the saloon there, but then they have a sound studio that's built the same way.
Right.
And so you get to see that. And I've met, stars there before that were there filming movies and stuff like that. And you can go online and see all the things they got there. But so you get, for $1.5 million, you get, it has approximately $5 million in annual revenue.
Wow.
That sounds worth it already.
I mean, that sounds,
Maybe you and I.
Annual revenue, that's not including pay, and that's probably not
That's
breaking
just annual
out.
revenue. That's not break-even revenue.
Yeah.
But, if you folks want to get your friends to like and subscribe, maybe Larry and I can buy this.
Yeah, become These Two Guys Studio.
Yeah, These Two Guys Studios. So you can, 4,500 guests per day you can have up to there.
Wow.
You can also have theme weddings and stuff like that there. Did you see Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise?
Cannonball Run?
Cannonball Run 2.
2, yeah.
Cannonball Run 2 was filmed there at Old Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah, where they had the place in the swimming pool out back and they had the little gunfight out there.
Yeah.
In the back. Yeah, that was Old Tucson as well.
Okay.
In fact, the Circle K where I used to buy my gas is where Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise are getting gas and they meet the two nuns.
The two nuns?
The 2 fake nuns there. That was the Circle K I used to get gas at. Anyway, so you got amusement rides, production equipment. Now you're talking about cameras, maybe, I would think. Production equipment, cameras, sound equipment.
I mean,
costumes and stunt equipment.
All that stuff alone is I mean, without even seeing, I can tell you, it probably cost well over 1.5 million.
Restaurant
easily.
and retail spaces.
To lease out.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do
Sublet.
that.
Yeah.
Rights to operate the attraction under a county lease subject to approval. All right. Now, I don't know if anybody out there has $1.5 million, but if you have, you searching?
Yeah, I'm checking.
Yeah, I ain't got it. But if you have that kind of money, this would be, if someone really wanted to do it
It's turnkey.
and do it right, it pretty much it's turnkey. Now, there's plenty of stunt people still left in Tucson. They might be old by now. The guys I knew are older than I am now, so you probably have to have a whole new bunch of crew come in there. and do
Yeah.
that. But created in 1939, Columbia Pictures created it for the Western Arizona, right, with William Holden and Gene Arthur. Now, since then, some of the classic films, Winchester 73. Now, wasn't that Jimmy Stewart?
I think that was Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart. Broken Arrow.
That was the John Travolta and Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Broken Arrow. Gunfight at the OK Corral,
Yeah.
which is not Tombstone.
Not
It's different.
Tombstone.
It's the older one.
Yeah.
Rio Bravo, El Dorado, both John Wayne movies. Hombre, which I believe was a John Wayne movie.
So is
McClintock and
was
Rio Lobo were all John Wayne movies.
movies.
Tombstone
And Three Amigos.
and Three Amigos. And Young Guns 2.
Young Guns 2 was there
Young
as
Guns
well.
2. The Outlaw Josie Wales.
That is also one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. and
Cannonball
then I
Run 2.
mentioned earlier Cannonball Run 2. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That is a great opportunity. I mean, that's turnkey. If it's already functioning, it's already running, they already have the revenue, listed as to, profits.
Mm-hmm.
If someone goes in there with the understanding that they may not make huge profits off the beginning and just slowly grow it into something more, it probably might be a good idea. But sometimes you get people that come in there, you've seen that. People come in, they buy something, they immediately want to flip it and try to turn something into something else, and then they just lose business and they understand
They
why.
don't have a focus on what the true meaning of the place is.
Right.
I mean, seriously, if I had $1.5 million, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And I probably wouldn't change really much anything. I mean, expand maybe, update some things, but keep it still Western themed. I think that's the most important thing, right? I mean, if you agree, keep it true to the heart of what it was.
If you've ever been there, you can't do anything other than Western because it is out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I mean, some people will try to, do things. Oh, we're going to do a future world right next to it. Yeah, you got people who might try that.
Now, Westworld was not filmed there, but that would have been a cool movie.
Yeah.
That was a cool
There
movie.
you go. Get some automatons there.
Yep. High Chaparral, Rawhide, Bonanza, Gunsmoke, Wanted Dead or Alive, Little House on the Prairie, Kung Fu, Death Valley Days, The Young Riders, and Highway to Heaven, all filmed there at one point or another.
Wow.
Now, High Chaparral, which I'm trying to think of who the primary actors were on that. I can't think of them right now.
I used to watch that show, and
I
I
did
can't
too.
think of it either.
Yeah, the one Hispanic guy who played,
No.
I'm trying to think of what his name was.
Not West Arnez.
No, it wasn't. No,
That's
that was
not-
Gunsmoke.
That's Gunsmoke. That's Arnez
Yeah.
Jr.
But
Oh God.
yeah, I'll think of it. He's been in a few other movies. So
Not
he's-
Lee Majors.
No.
He was in that. That was.
No, there was no. I mean, you could probably look it up on your phone quick.
Yeah.
There were no really big names that really did anything. A couple of the character actors in there, the supporting actors, went on to have character roles in later films, but didn't really have any major film success that I can recall. Now they probably had guest stars on there that did, But anyway, so then it was 1995 was the day of the fire. And I was not living there at the time. I was living in Tennessee, and I remember hearing about it. $10 million in damage, burned down 25 buildings. Nobody was killed, luckily. In much of the town, they rebuilt it, but some of the original movie sets lost forever. Yeah, it was really a shame.
So some of these names I don't really recognize. The show ran from 1967 to 1971, starring Henry Darrow.
Henry Darrow, he's the Hispanic guy.
Yeah,
That had sort of like not a skunk hair, but he had like two different color.
like Paulie from
sort of like that.
Sopranos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Slade, Linda Cristal, Leif Erikson was in there.
Yeah, there you go. There's a name.
Cameron Mitchell,
Cameron
Don
Mitchell, I
Collier,
remember.
Robert Hoy, Robert Contreras.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the main stars that were in the show.
So it had Leif Erikson. He
Leif
went on.
Erikson, yeah.
Henry Darrow went on to do some things after that. And what other one you mentioned too there that was familiar to me?
Mark Slade?
No, early on. Cameron? No. Oh, here we got it. All right. Yeah, Cameron Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell. I remember that name coming up a few times. But anyway, if you got the money and you want to do a little history, you know.
Oh, Cameron Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you recognize his face?
Yeah, he was. I used to refer to him as the other Dean Martin
Okay.
because he kind of looks like Dean Martin a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I can see
it.
that. I can see that.
Look him up yourself and then tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. So, why is it being sold? According to Pima County, American Heritage Railway has decided not to exercise its option for another 10-year lease. So they are the ones that are currently holding the lease on that. And rather than simply closing the attraction, they are going to list its operational assets for sale in hopes that another qualified operator will continue to run Old Tucson. Now, recently it's been used for commercial production, you know, for television commercials and stuff like that. But, you know, I can really see.
Now the question is, how much is the lease? I mean, it's only 300 acres, right?
Yeah, but,
so
but you got to remember. Okay, Pima County wants somebody in there. They'll do a deal.
They'll make a deal. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like you know, the chamber here in town is on city property,
Right.
and it's like, I don't know, what is it, $10 a month, you know, for a 10-year lease or 5-year lease or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's basically, you know, we're doing this so you'll keep the
So
operation
you keep
going.
keep it functional. I mean, it brings in revenue to the town and everything too. So wouldn't be advantageous to price them out of price somebody out of buying this. So,
But the reason I brought this up, and the reason I put this up, number one, it came in the news. Number two, it was on national news. And number three, it's nostalgic for me. My parents' restaurant was 2.5 miles down the street from Old Tucson.
so you got a lot of customers from.
We got Lee Marvin, Anthony Quinn,
Wow.
Kirk Douglas, Linda Evans, been through there. Willie Nelson, when they did the remake of Stagecoach in there.
Right.
I mean, so many people came
Wow.
through there, and you know, they were in our restaurant. So it brings back a lot of nostalgia.
I would, and I could see, you know, someone who's familiar with it wanting to keep it as is.
Yeah.
You know, keep it going, because I would feel that way.
Again, 1.5 million is not a whole lot, but you need operating capital.
Yeah.
You need operating capital.
Yeah. I mean, generally you have to have enough to float it if business doesn't go well for a couple of years. You know.
Well, you know, you got to invest. I mean, you know, an Elon Musk could come in there and really probably make a good go of it because he'd invest more into it.
Elon Musk's couch cushions could scrape coins together and afford
Probably.
it.
Although I hear
At
he's
this
not a
point.
trillionaire anymore.
Is he not?
He's
well,
only a 980 millionaire.
well, darn.
Yeah, his stock went down.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So.
Did you get into that? Did you?
No, are you
No?
kidding? I'll wait until it goes down a little farther.
Yeah. Well, we got
I
it.
can
We
buy
got
a
it when it was
quarter
low.
share.
We got it pretty low. So
You got it pretty low?
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
shares did you buy? 2?
no, I think we were at we just bought 8.
Really?
So
I guess I'm not really worried about not paying you for this.
Yeah, no, we're trying to think about the future, man.
That's right. Think about the future.
Yeah, he's landing rockets on toothpicks. You know, I'm gonna assume that at some point it's gonna turn around.
Well, you remember Dr. Scott Donaldson that we had on the program a while back. He was talking about, he did a thing called I'm Just Saying. He's got a little program on our radio station. You can find us if you want to download the app or at kcst.com. You can listen live. Well, he does this thing called I'm Just Saying. And he was going through the whole possibilities of going to Mars, life on other planets, and other planets coming to visit us. And he said the physics of it are just impossible. Because
Really?
even at light speed, it would take more than 1,000 years at light speed for a UFO or something from another galaxy to reach us here.
Yeah.
So you would have to say either these are people that live a long time, or they have whole colonies that are on these spaceships that are coming to see us. But he says we'll never set foot on Mars.
Now, yeah, that definitely makes sense if you're just thinking unilaterally transportation, right? Just from point A to point Z.
Knowing what we know now about transportation.
Right. But that's from our knowledge. But
If
you're
we
looking
can
at
beam
another-
like Star Trek.
right, folding space like Dune. You know,
Yeah.
there's other things that could possibly. I mean, we don't see these things if they're here. Again, there's a non-believers and there's believers. I don't want to trigger anybody, but we don't see them here. Cloaking devices, you know, mind control, whatever it is that would keep us from seeing them. from being here. And that type of technology could be also the type of technology could fold space.
Was the movie Them with Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Yes.
Where if you had the certain glasses,
You can see
the
yeah.
aliens.
Yeah.
See, that's what it is. We don't have those special.
We don't have those
glasses.
special goggles, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg's trying to sell them, but we don't. But you know, I subscribe to the fact that if we tried it, it's impossible. But I can't say if they tried
Right,
it,
because we don't know what their
we don't know what
technology
they know.
is.
Right.
Exactly.
And we made a comment. I was looking at some of the comments we had, and thank you guys all for your comments. We love them, and we'll make fun of you because you make fun of us, but we still love you. Someone made a comment that my logic, I think it was one of our little short clips. My logic was completely flawed about like life on other galaxies. You know, as if there is no other, and I guess that was to say that there is no way, shape, and form that there's another third planet from the sun and the solar system that has exact same properties that allows
It doesn't
life.
have to be a third planet.
Or it could be the fourth. It could be the fifth.
Because it
could
depends on the power of the sun and your distance from the power of the sun.
Right.
Ours works because it's the third planet and it's just perfect
Right.
to build an atmosphere.
Right.
If you have a hotter sun, you might want to be the fourth, fifth, or sixth planet.
Exactly.
If you have a cooler
Smaller
sun, you might be the
second
second planet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, to me, it's feasible.
I think it's totally feasible. And I asked a question too. I asked a follow-up question and just like, you know, what science do you have to prove, you know, otherwise? Of course, never got a response, but
Yeah. Well, you know, people make a comment, then they move on.
yeah.
Which is kind of what the next section is going to be about.
Trolling?
It's going to be about your comments. Okay.
I
We're
love-
truly going to get into that. So I read a comment the other day, and I forget what the setup was, but it was one of our shorts, and some guy got on there and he goes, "Yeah, nothing like listening to two old men on a microphone." And I'm like, for one thing, Larry's not old compared to me. All right, I'm the old guy. Larry, you're 10 years younger at least.
No, like a 5.
5 years younger.
No, not even that.
How old are you?
56.
Yeah, so it's about 9 years.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Wow.
So 9 years.
See, I thought he was way younger.
Yeah, you know. But anyway, so
He's
yeah.
more physical than
So
I
we
am.
look old, but anyway, so this guy makes this comment, and you know, I actually did what was recommended in my sheet here. I responded with humor. You know, I didn't like slash back at him because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
But you know, you got people out there that want to say, "Well, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about." That's great. You know, and Larry and I have said this before. If you've got something on the contrary to say it. Share your information with us. We're not opposed to that. No. We don't say we know it all. No. You know, we don't pretend to know it all. We just pretend to like to talk about it all.
And that's not just pertaining to our podcast, any podcast. Any of you guys are armchair warriors out there that just feel like you want to say something and move on. And I'm sorry for saying that because I do lash out. He's a lot more refined than I am. And you're supposed to be the angry, cantankerous older guy, and I'm supposed to be the young, calm guy. But no, I hate that. But any podcast, you guys have a comment to say. I always say, try to say something of substance. Just throwing out an insult or just a comment and there's nothing behind it. Again, we've said this before. It doesn't sound very intelligent.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You don't come off.
Well,
as
and another example, I put a video up there, just a short clip, saying that, you know, if you had a great job and great pay and everything was seemingly going, what would make you want to quit your job? Mm-hmm. And I thought someone would say a better opportunity,
yeah.
you know,
a human response.
A human response, something that, you know, something that I really enjoyed came up and I can make money at it,
right.
Stuff like that. And one guy goes, listening to you, or listening to or looking at you, would make me want to quit my job.
Yes.
And I'm like, whatever.
So these are people that I picture, and it's not a very pretty picture. I'm trying to spare you guys. Remember the movie Seven?
Yeah.
Remember the guy? Remember the gluttony?
Yeah.
The guy that they made him eat spaghetti and whatever. I imagine these people that make those comments live like that pre-murder. Right? But the spaghetti's still there. The guy's still sitting there with the nasty shirt, still very dark room, still, and they just sit there and I troll too. I will troll people, but I at least try to give a little bit of substance with my troll because sometimes I just like to poke the bear. But I never go out there and just say something and then somebody responds and I don't respond back. Like, to me, that's just weak. And that's what I visualize in people who just, that's what they do. I'm sure that you're probably that response is probably like the 700th response of that day with multiple people podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not the first one he responded.
No, you weren't the first person the other day.
What was funny is I looked up, and I'm an older guy. Yeah, I admit it. But I had a younger woman today tell me I was handsome. So I feel vindicated about that. But I'm not saying I am. I'm saying she said I was. But when I trolled this guy's Facebook page, I'm like, dude, really?
See?
You got no room to say anything about me. Yeah, I got bags under my eyes. So what? But this guy was like, okay,
parents' basement.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah.
No, he was an older guy, probably in his 50s.
Still
maybe.
could be in his parents' house.
Still probably is in his parents' house. Or maybe he's in his kid's house. He's living there in the basement. But, I'm not going to say who it was, even though I know. Or maybe I'll put his post up there anyway. But it was just like, and maybe he was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And that's how I responded.
Yeah.
I didn't take it personal because there's two things you can do. There's three things. One, you can read something, take it personal, and lash out. Two is you can read it, consider the source, and just ignore it. Mm-hmm. Or three, you can look at it and go, you know what? To me, it's okay. It's funny. I'll respond likewise. Or you can there is a fourth option, stay off social media altogether. Right. Don't go looking at any of this. Right. Because if you got thin skin, you don't want to see what some people have to say.
Right. Yeah, see, sometimes I'll do, I won't do what that person, that individual did, but if I did and it was meant to be humor, sometimes I'll end with a JK. I'm just kidding. Or just LOL, just laugh.
Well,
I try to make it, that I mean it.
You're a dickhead, LOL.
Right, yeah.
It still means you're a dickhead. He just threw that LOL in there so that it wouldn't hit so sharply.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do that all the time. I say snarky comments, and I end it with LOL or JK. But what do they say that there's a little bit of truth in all humor?
In all humor, yeah. That's true. It was 15% or something. I think it's a little more than that.
But I will say, I cannot ever remember, and if some of you can prove this, I dare say you can't. But I have never said anything specifically ugly on a post just to get back at somebody. Never in my life. No. I've never said anything vindictive. Now, I have stood my ground. Mm. I have restated my case, and I have not defended. I have debated their case based on their information, but I've never been ugly about it or hateful.
Nothing I've ever seen. Very thought-provoking comments and your questions are, they're not like leading down a path of anything negative. Very positive and thinking.
I want people to be positive.
Right.
I mean, that's my whole life is about, bringing positive results and not having so much negativity out there.
Right.
So
and engaging in conversation. I think it's to me, that's one of the things I get out of doing this is having a conversation. We didn't have any real plans today as to what we talked about. I mean, George pulled up some data sheets, but our conversations are usually it flows.
Yeah. We're just talking.
We're just talking.
Just
two old guys.
Two old guys. Yeah. Maybe we ought to go, these two old guys instead of these two guys.
Yeah, there you go. We'll add that like another 2 years.
What we ought to do, Larry, is next week we ought to put on like Egyptian hats, and like be like BC people.
Yeah.
From before, anyway.
They're pharaohs.
The pharaohs.
These two pharaohs.
These two pharaohs.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we love the comments. And I do love that we're getting more. These shorts have definitely reached a lot more people. Yeah. It's created a lot more conversation, and we love dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind responding to a comment. It's a little easier to respond to an intelligent comment than it is to just a slander.
Right.
Or a derogatory, or denigrating comment.
There was one we got, and I won't even try to go into what that guy was talking about. It was about 4 or 5 paragraphs, and it went very thick in the woods.
I must have missed that. Give me the general.
Oh, I can't even remember which one it was. It was so many. Like, I'm just kind of clicking through, and he gave us this college thesis type of response, and I'll find it.
Well, and
if we
again,
can
don't
find
be
it,
too
post it.
smart either, because then we're not going to be able to answer.
Yeah, because now I'm looking all this crap up in a dictionary. I don't know what the hell the stuff that guy was talking about. Not to say that I'm not uneducated, but I'm like, come on, dude. What is a double diggable? Like, man, I don't know what that
Well,
is.
and you know, and another thing is too about this is that when we do our clips, when we do our short clips, a clip might come in the middle of a conversation. So sometimes you have to read between the lines. Like they were talking about that
Yes.
one, like, is he talking about such and so? Is he talking
it's
about this person?
Chris Hardwick, which
Yeah.
literally was like 5 seconds prior to the clip starting.
Right,
I
right.
mentioned Chris
Yeah,
Hardwick's
he mentioned
name.
the name. So yeah, it's like you can be sure that's what it was going about. But you know, so we had to mention in there that yes, that was accurate as we were talking about. But the person knew enough of the situation that they knew.
Two people did.
Yeah.
And then one person decided to give me a pro tip, which I do appreciate. I hope you see this. I do appreciate.
And what was the pro tip again?
Next time you're going to bring up something about someone, give a name.
But you did.
I did. Yeah.
But the clip
yeah.
is kind of random.
And here's the other funny thing is the two people prior to his comment mentioned the name.
Right.
So they both said it, even though they were guessing, they both said the name because they knew the situation.
Yeah.
So, but no, we totally appreciate you, man. Don't take it hard. I think my response, I meant it in humor. It was like, thanks for the pro tip. So, yeah.
Well, and you know, to be honest, and this is not to be snarky at all, but at the age of 65, and I know I don't look it, I look 70, but anyway, at the age of 65, there's not much that you can tell me that I probably haven't heard at some point. Like my wife likes to tell me things as I'm walking down the hall to do that as a 65-year-old man, I've probably done 1,000,000 times already without being told. But you know, they just want to be helpful.
Yeah.
Pro tip, just wanted to be helpful.
Just a pro tip.
Even if you knew it already, just wanted to be helpful.
I had that yesterday when to go pick up cabbage. You know, don't buy the large headed cabbage. Just get a small one because we waste it.
Ah,
I know that.
well,
That's a
that's
pro
why,
tip.
you know, I buy the smaller zucchinis because the smaller zucchinis are more tender and taste better than the larger zucchinis because the bigger they grow, the
The
less
more
tastier they
yeah.
are.
Yep,
Yeah, and they're more nasty.
They're
But anyway,
softer. Yeah.
yeah, there's
smaller
things
from-
that you know that you don't have to be reminded, but a good wife, she wants to remind you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So pro tips are welcome.
Yeah.
Pro tips are welcome.
I may get snarky with you from time to time for the pro tip, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah. And if we do respond and it does seem like we're being a little hostile, we're more like me, not him, because he's a lot more PC with his response. I think I come off as harsh, and I've been told that a lot. I going back to the beginning of the podcast, Susie's upstairs listening to me talk to those guys. I get off the phone, I come upstairs, and she goes, "Uh-oh, someone got a tongue lashing." So yeah, I could come off as a complete jerk, but I'm a nice guy.
Now, the guy that told me something about, you know, who wants to listen to this old guy or something like that, whatever it was. No, it was the one who said, watching or listening to you would make me want to quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comment, I said rude, but really funny.
Yeah.
You know, yes, rude, but really funny. You know, so I understand the humor in that. And maybe he wasn't trying to be humorous. Maybe he was serious.
See, and that's where we don't know. But I need to take that page out of your book, literally, because I sometimes see things as an attack, and I need to understand that even if it is, like you said, even if it is an attack, I can defeat that with kindness and humor, because they don't have to be serious. You don't have to be angry all the time when you respond to someone with anger. Matter of fact, my mom used to say, you know, as a kid growing up in the projects, right, you always get challenged. You always get guys in your face, right? And they're always trying to get that one little buzzword to get you to start scrapping with them. And the number one easiest thing to get someone back in the 80s, to get someone to fight, was your mom's a bitch, right? And that would, your friends just heard this guy call your mom a bitch. Now you got to fight to the
What are you
death.
going to do about it? Yeah.
Right? It's Kirk versus the Gorn. Someone's got to die, right? No. My mom would say, yeah, you know what you tell them? Say, yeah, my mom's a bitch. And smile.
That was it.
And that's it. Because then they don't know what to say after that. They're expecting to see fists going flying, and it's like, what else do I got now? You just took the win out of
your
my
mom's not
sails.
hurt by it.
No, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And she'll sit there. She goes, I'll tell him. Yeah, I am a bitch. Now what? You know, so.
You should say, you want to see how much a bitch she is? Let's go meet her.
Yeah, you want to see
Yeah,
a
you
bitch?
wanna-
I mean,
yeah,
my
yeah.
mom, she didn't play. So,
But did you see the remake of Roadhouse?
yes.
at the point where the guys are coming to fight him, and he's trying to talk him out of it, trying to talk him down. You really don't want to do this.
Yes.
Is your medical insurance paid up? All this stuff. He's trying to talk him out. Convince him that this is not the smart thing to do. And of course, he didn't listen. But
Yeah.
no. But you try that first, and I'll make a concession with you. If you try to be nice on response to our things, you can be however you want to be on your own.
Yeah. Because I am not, most of my friends who know me, I am sometimes not very nice. But you know what?
Now, I haven't found that to be true. I've never noticed you to be.
You
say stuff to me,
yeah,
but I don't know that you're out there saying it in public.
So there is a friend that we have political debates with all the time, and it's always on his page. I don't really post a lot of political stuff. Gavin Newsom's like the only exception. Just because.
Don't be talking about my guy now.
I know.
He's not really my guy.
He's the only exception, and he's not. I mean, because I live in Florence, he's in California. He's not really a political figure for me anymore because I moved out of California.
Yeah. And I would love to interview you, Gavin. If you get a snippet of this, please, I would love to talk to you.
Oh.
And regardless of what side of the political fence you're on, I will talk to anybody out there in politics.
Yes, Gavin. Yes.
I know he would love to talk to you for sure.
Oh man, yeah, that would be fun. So we talk and we go back and forth. And actually, there was a lady that came to my friend's defense, and he actually moved to Oregon, I guess, not too long ago. A lady came to his defense, and she's like, "Why are you always bashing on him?" And blah blah blah. He's a good man, and da da da. And I said, "Whoa, hold on, let me correct you there. He's not a good man. He's a great man. So I've known this man for over 20 years. We've worked together, and I said, and he knows what I do. He does the same thing to me, and he came back and Larry and I.
You guys like pushing each other's buttons.
We just like pushing each other's buttons. I said it's like slapping each other with towels in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
It can be some serious damage if you hit the wrong thing.
Oh.
But we're dudes. We're gonna do that crap.
Yeah.
So and she understood it, but she thought I was like straight up attacking the guy, and I was like, no. We rib each other. That's what we do. See,
now I tend. I guess maybe when it first came out, I might have done that a little bit with friends, but on Facebook, and same with texting, I'm not real into doing that because I have said non-disparaging things in text that when they're read, when somebody else reads them,
out of context,
they read them different.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really conscientious about how I say what I say.
Like as if I seen stick instead of not been sick.
Well, but see, the thing was, I said stick, but it changed it to sick.
Oh, it did change this. No, it said stick.
Oh, did it say
It
stick?
said stick. Yeah, it said, have you seen stick? And I read, because I didn't have my glasses on, so I'm squinting. I saw,
have you been
sick? Because I get invited to, we have a guy in town that has pool parties at his house like almost every Friday.
Not swimming pool.
Yeah, not swimming pool, pool. And so I didn't go yesterday. And I was like, I was feeling a little under the weather, so I didn't really feel like going. So then he asked me, I see the morning, the next response I got to you, have you been sick, is what I saw, made sense. I was like, wait a minute, how did you know what I said? But this is a small town, so it wouldn't surprise me if
thought somebody, hey, Larry said he was sick.
By the way, Larry said he was sick. It wouldn't surprise me. So that's why I was like, no, I'm a little bit under the weather. And I explained it. He's like, no, have you seen the movie Stick?
Yeah. So I know we're going off on a tangent here, but yesterday I sit down and I watch episode 1 of the Apple TV series Stick. Owen Wilson in it, right?
Oh, that one.
And it's a comedy.
The golf comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great show.
You saw it?
Yeah.
I don't know that I can watch episode 2.
Really?
Yeah. So, and it might happen again. Please don't call me a baby if it does. So I was just watching the last few minutes of the first episode, right? Mm-hmm. And it shows he puts the DVD in which says our first 7 years. Mm-hmm. And it shows her having the baby and the baby. And so I'm recognizing that when she said it won't bring him back, she was talking they lost their baby.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. So here I am, I'm bawling, right? Deb walks in the door. I turn the TV off and she goes, what's wrong? And I start to tell her and I start bawling again. And I'm like, I can't watch this, because there's something in me that recognizes something about that that hurts me or that triggers me. And I was like, man, I can't believe, but it was an awesome show. Because it brought up the emotion, I knew it was awesome. You know what I'm saying?
It is an awesome show, and there's a lot more emotional grabs. Just to let you know.
God, thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotional grabs in that one because it's Owen Wilson is Owen Wilson, and he's this character throughout the entire show. He's kind of a slime ball type of guy, but you kind of understand why he's emotional detached from other people. If you've seen it, you got comments on it, please comment. But I thought it was a great show.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can relate to that. Like that's why I won't watch Marley and Me again.
I was just gonna bring up Marley.
Yeah, well, my daughter and I thought we were gonna watch this slapstick comedy, and we watched it literally the day after we put our dog down. I mean, and we're watching this, and
what
we're
were
both,
you thinking?
I didn't. I see a funny, slapstick comedy. I see us, comedy with the dog and Owen Wilson. Who expect to cry again? Who expects to cry watching Owen Wilson?
I did not.
Right?
I did. In fact, I had avoided watching this because I was like, well, I know Owen Wilson. I really love his stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think he's tremendous actor, tremendous comedian. He definitely has those heartfelt moments like Marley and Me and things like that. And I think wasn't Forget Paris. There was something about Paris that he did a movie about. See You in Paris or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that.
Is it more of a dramedy with him?
It was dramedy, another one of those. So he does have the chops for that. So I'm not putting anything against him or down on him because he's phenomenal as far as I'm concerned.
But the subject matter.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
I mean, it can really grab you sometimes, and you're not I was not expecting it. It's different when you read the trailer or something that says, man loses son, goes on to teach other kid how to play golf or whatever. Then okay, you're prepared for it. But this, I didn't know until 3/4 of the way through when she goes, it won't bring him back. Then all of a sudden something clicked. Uh-oh. Yeah. And then when he put the DVD in, I know enough about movies and TV. Like I've told you before, I can tell Deb what the next line is going to be a lot of times. I knew what was coming.
Right.
So even though I was kind of prepared, I wasn't prepared for that emotional stab in the chest.
My compliments to the writers and directors of that show because it's got some points where it kind of really goes off the rails and you kind of expect certain things to happen and other things to happen or whatever. And I think I can't remember the name of the ex-wife. She was the voice of what's her name in Archer. She was the voice of the ditzy receptionist in Arthur. She's really good too.
I've seen her in a lot.
Yeah, she's in a lot of things. Always a side character, but she's But that show there's some emotional.
Now is it a one and done season, or does it look like it'll continue?
I think they wanted to do. I don't think they continued on, or if they mentioned a second season. When we watched it, I mean, we couldn't binge it because we were watching it as the episodes were being released. So we had to wait to the next episode. And then even after the last episode we watched, we kind of didn't go back to see if they're gonna do another season. I kind of hope they do, but it's almost like,
what else is there to tell?
What else is? Yeah, it seemed like the story kind of had an ending.
Yeah,
they wrote it to end it. If there's no second season, it had a decent ending. There's some plot lines that's left open for to renew something if it comes down to that. But at the same time, if it ended, it's not like you should not be satisfied with the outcome of everybody in that show.
Well, it's like the Burrows,
right?
The Burrows. I mean, I saw something where Gina
Davis
said at the end, she goes, "I can't believe they canceled us and didn't renew us for another season." I'm thinking, like, what else are you going to tell?
What else are you going to do? Right.
There's nothing else to tell.
Right. Aliens are gone. Everything. I mean, everything. It closed the loop.
Yeah.
It closed the loop. I mean, if you bring it back now, what is it going to be now? Like, monsters, not aliens?
Well, I'm sure you could find another story, a sequel to it, somehow, but it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same. No.
Because you already know all the secrets.
Right.
And that's what happens when you release the secrets and, something. It kind of, that's why I didn't watch the last season of Stranger Things. I was like,
Yeah, I've
seen everything.
Yeah, I cheated with those. There's these guys on YouTube that'll condense like 5 seasons of TV shows to like an hour and 10 minutes, and they explain like all the major plot points. When a show totally fizzes out for me, and I feel like I've invested at least a little bit of time in it, I want to see how it ends. I'll go watch that.
I just did that the other day. You remember the show Manifest?
Yes.
Where the plane
disappears
for a couple years,
and they have
comes back? Yeah. So I waited. I went all the way to the last 15 minutes of the last episode of the last season and watched that. And I'm like, well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't watch everything in between.
It's like anybody who's watched Lost, who had all that emotional and time invested.
I could have
in that
done without the last
show.
episode.
Yeah, just
They could have done something different with that.
they could have.
But anyway, another one. I know we're off the subject here, but that's okay. That's what we do. There's another show on, and I'm guessing. I'm going to say, and I might be wrong here, but I'm going to guess 90% that you have not seen it. It's called Virgin River.
No, I've seen
Have
seen
seen?
a couple episodes of that. Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen the first season and a couple episodes of the second season, and we stopped watching it. I was like, I don't know why. We just stopped
Mandy
watching
Moore
it.
or something in it, right?
I think so. She's
I
she's
think
one
it's
of the
Mandy
cast
Moore,
members.
yeah.
So anyway, the other day I was at work and I was done with all my work and I had nothing else to do. So I threw on Netflix and I said, well, let me just check that show out again. And instantly I was wrapped up in it. I was like, why did I quit watching this?
And I'll be honest, that's not a show that I would gravitate to. Like
That's why I said I didn't think that you.
I would skip past it every single time. I did the same thing. I caught an episode of it, and for some reason, for me, it's very hard to get me invested. If you can't get me invested in the characters, if your character development is not there at the beginning of a show, if you're not giving me some character arcs, or not character arcs, I usually get that later on in the show.
Yeah.
But if you're not giving me something that draws me interest to this character and that character, and there's some type of conflict or something like that, I'm on to the next channel.
Yeah, but I felt Virgin River did that.
It did, yeah, exactly.
It gave us that.
Exactly.
But then I don't know why I stopped watching it.
I don't know why I stopped. I think his season had ended. The first season had ended. And what are they, like season 4 or 5?
Yeah,
I
they're on
think
4 or 5 right now.
Yeah. So I watched a little bit of it, and then I kind of went back and I started watching it. And I'm not a soap opera type guy. I'm not really one that does the romance stories and the secretive lifestyle. This person running from that lifestyle, and it didn't seem like it was something that would normally pull me in. But man, it was a good show.
Now, another one that I stopped watching, which I don't know why I stopped watching, and right now I can't think of the name, and you'll remember. Oh, yeah, Mayor of
Kingstown.
Mayor of Kingstown. I watched the first season and 3/4.
So that's another, because this a Tyler Sheridan show. If you guys are not familiar with Tyler Sheridan, the guy can almost do no wrong. Bass Reeves is also not technically one of his shows, but he's a producer, so I think he has some input. And that's one of the reasons why I went to go watch Bass Reeves. Plus, it's Bass Reeves. I mean, you gotta figure that history, right?
Lone Ranger.
Into it, yeah. So you got what was the other one? Lioness, Landsman, all these other shows. I mean, those shows
Dutton
that he
Ranch,
did.
You got Marshalls.
You got Marshalls. You got
1883.
Tulsa King.
1923. Tulsa King.
You got Nola King coming.
You got Nola King coming out.
So yeah, when that show I started watching it, I was like, oh, it's.
And I mean, he wrote Sicario.
Yeah, he wrote Sicario.
So I went back.
I think he directed Sicario too.
I went back and watched that again. I'm like, oh my God, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he's a good guy. And the Mayor of Kingstown, the first season was great. Kind of expected more of the second season. I watched every season. I watched every episode and probably watched them almost twice. The one thing that started getting to me, you got this one guy. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry to spoil it for you, but it's your fault for not watching it. You got this one guy who really...
Don't spoil it for me.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the character.
Oh, okay.
He's not law enforcement. No. He's not a gang member. He doesn't really have any...
Yeah, where did he get his power?
He's got power over so the first couple of episodes, he's telling people and they're kind of barking back at him and there's just kind of like this power struggle. By the time you get the second season, it's like telling the cops, hey, I just shot these 2 guys, go take care of it. Yeah. Okay, Mike, and it's just, I was like, wait a minute. Then he goes to the drug dealers. You're not selling drugs in my town. Okay, Mike. Like, wait a minute.
It is kind of weird. Where did he get that power?
Right.
And his brother is shot in the face the first episode of the first season.
Chandler, yeah. Kyle Chandler, which to me, I like both of these guys.
I would like to see Kyler Chandler go farther.
I would
have
liked to see, yeah, exactly.
Instead of the other brother that they end up going to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, but anyway.
Yeah, he could have got popped in the face. Keep Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
That guy is. You ever watched it?
He does a lot of that kind of stuff.
He does. You remember his old TV show? And I'm digressing there.
The newspaper one.
The newspaper one.
Yeah,
the morning edition.
Yeah, you got the next morning's paper.
Yes.
Oh,
that was such a good show.
I did. I like that. That was
such a great show.
A really good show. I like that.
Early edition. Yeah. Early edition.
Yeah. But of course, I remember him from the George Strait movie, where he played the. You haven't seen that country. Oh, I can't remember.
Pure Country.
Pure Country.
Pure Country.
Yeah,
Never
Pure
seen
Country.
It.
He played the the roadie who wrote a song, you know, and he wanted George Strait to do the song. And then so when George Strait walked away, he had to sub in and pretend he was George Strait. He grew facial hair, and they put a ponytail on him, and he wore his hat low, and he would lip sync to George Strait music.
Is that what that movie's about? Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, so then he gets a little hot-headed, and he says, well, I want to continue on to do this, even though the guy wants to be back. You know, he says, well, I'm going to come out, and I'm going to tell, you know, I'm going to tell the new that I've been subbing as him, and you've been fooling everybody. You know, and so he was a real dick in that movie.
I think is it like a remake of that kind of just got released?
Did it?
What is a movie? I don't know. You guys helped me out with this. I remember seeing the trailers, and there's something I wasn't going to be interested in.
There was like a Pure Country 2, I think, but it was a different. It was a female singer or something like that.
Well, this one's more like a pop star or whatever, and I think it's like one of the Jonas Brothers, and somebody writes a song, and
that's him. That's Nick Jonas, and I'm trying to think of who the writer was. It's Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I want to see that.
Well, Paul Rudd's not pretending to be him, but it's kind of a songwriting.
Yeah. Well, Paul Rudd writes a song, and apparently this guy records it, and then somehow they become
famous.
A friendship.
Right.
In there. I want to see that. That looks like a really good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've gone far enough off the rails today.
Way off the rails. Almost like $1.5 million cowboy attraction type rails.
Again, you know, I would love to have the money to do that. So if you can like and subscribe, if you can tell your friends to like and subscribe, if you can buy our merchandise, you know, go on these2guys.com, the number 2, right? Go online, check us out, get some stuff. And by the way, I think this, I don't know who of you out there that did it, but I posted a thing on my book, Hold My Coffee, on our site. And I just got a couple residuals from Amazon. So a couple of you bought the book. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. But hope you enjoy it. But anyway.
I got a good idea.
What's that?
Gavin Newsom. Give us $1.5 million. We'll do a podcast for you. We'll actually even, you know.
Like you.
Yeah, we'll like you. We'll kind of help you with
We'll softball at you. Softball.
Yeah, we'll ask you what kind of ice cream and stuff you like, and what kind of oil you put in your hair. And that'll help you for your 2028, right? Give us $1.5 million.
Yeah, be advertising. It's just considered advertising.
Exactly.
I'd rather take my money from Warren Buffett. I feel like he wouldn't ask for anything in return. But
yeah, or Elon.
There's not.
I'll take money from Elon. Yeah.
But just say there's not a politician out there that I've ever treated unfairly because of how they stand on something. I have interviewed both sides. I've interviewed the middle. I have a long history of that. So if you know Gavin, send him my way. I will treat him right. I may not agree with him, but I'll treat him right.
I'll give you the what's the cigar weed smoking,
the Swisher Sweet?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
I'll give you the Bill Maher treatment.
You mean the Bill Maher in his studio where he's smoking pot?
Yeah.
Or the Bill Maher on his show?
No, the Bill Maher smoking pot, because
Yeah.
he's really relaxed. He's very neutral. He's just more common sense.
Hey, he'll talk to anybody.
Yeah, he'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the Bill Maher treatment.
Anyway. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Larry, you got something to say?
Peace out.
Peace.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Do it now.
It's these two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.